Ahoy, you filthy swines! Welcome to what the bloody oink is going on. And let's read some stuff. Nobody really knows how life started. If you're religious, then you're pretty certain you know who started it, why it was started, and all that. But if you're more inclined to go along with evolution and the scientific explanation, in all honesty, there isn't really a good explanation for how life itself started. Evolution itself kind of makes sense if you go in that direction, how life could continually adapt through mutation and such. But how did it start initially? What were the steps that brought it about? I don't know. There are examples in the past of people who've been trying to create life in laboratories, and they've created what they like to call the building blocks of life, but no one's actually created actual life from scratch. So it's still a mystery. It's still a massive mystery. No one knows. Well, we'll see if this next article from the Daily Mail, written by William Hunter, this chap here, he likes to hunt for Williams. Good for you, sir. Lab-grown life takes a major step forward as scientists use AI to create a virus never seen before. Okay, where have we been seeing this in the recent past? Let's read on, shall we? Lab-grown life has taken a major step forward as scientists use AI to create a new virus that has never been seen before. The virus, dubbed EVO, whatever the heck that symbol is, 2147, was created by scientists from scratch using new technologies that could revolutionize the course of evolution. It's not exactly evolution though, is it, if we are creating it? With just 11 genes compared to the 200,000 in the human genome, this virus is among the simplest forms of life. However, scientists believe that the same tools could one day create entire living organisms or resurrect long-extinct species. The artificial virus was specifically created to kill infectious and potentially deadly E. coli bacteria. Based on a wild virus known to infect bacteria, scientists used an AI tool called EVO2 to create 285 entirely new viruses from scratch. Some people said this was going on with the recent pandemic, so I'm not sure this is new. Perhaps this is just cresting in public knowledge at the moment. While only 16 were able to attack the E. coli, the most successful were 25% quicker at killing bacteria than the wild variants. However, previous research has raised concerns that AI-designed pathogens could themselves become a deadly threat to humanity. And I think they're potentially the biggest threat that we have in the coming decades. This incredible breakthrough comes from the work of scientists at Genrio, a startup led by British scientist and entrepreneur Dr. Adrian Wolfson. Dr. Wolfson told Daily Mail, for the last 4 billion years, all life on Earth has evolved by the trial and error process of Darwinian evolution by natural selection, which lacks any foresight or intention. I don't know, if you look at the bacteriophages, they look a lot like robots. So I like to entertain conspiracy theories, but I wonder if they are some kind of ancient nanotech. Probably not, though. Let's be realistic, but, you know, we can't know that there hasn't been creative events in the past. Natural evolution now has a co-author. That co-author, the emerging ability of AI-driven genome design and genome construction technologies, has the potential to exist alongside natural evolution. This has been made possible by the simultaneous development of two technologies: AI that can write genetic code, the new tools for assembling genes in the lab. The AI tool EVO2 is much like the large language model chatbots ChatGPT and Grok, except that it has been trained on genetic codes rather than written text. EVO2 was trained on 9 trillion base pairs, the individual A's, C's, T's, and G's that are the basic materials of DNA, to teach it how genes are put together. This allows EVO2 to create entirely new codes for organisms that have never existed, specifically shaped to fit their designer's requirements. At the same time, scientists have also created a new method for putting together artificial genomes known as Sidewinder. In the past, putting together an artificial genome was like trying to put the torn-up pages of a book together. It's possible, but only if you know what order they are supposed to be in. Dr. K-Hang Wang, inventor of the technology and assistant professor to the California Institute of Technology, compares Sidewinder to adding page numbers to these torn-up fragments. Dr. Wang told Pharmap Forum, in order to have a book, not only do we need to have the printed each individual page, you also need to arrange them into the correct order to form the book, right? Before us, DNA construction was kind of like in the era you have the printing press. but you don't have the other thing called the page number to actually align and assemble the books in the right order. Thanks to this new technology, scientists can make long sequences of DNA in the lab with 100,000 times more accuracy. That could make constructing artificial genomes 1,000 times cheaper and 1,000 times quicker. The Sidewinder and Evo 2 scientists now have the potential to create entirely new forms of life in just days, rather than weeks or months. What's this down here? The scientists used an AI program called Evo 2 to design a virus capable of killing antibacterial resistant E. coli. Right now, the Evo 2147 is just about as complex as anything that scientists are able to create. With just 5,386 base pairs of DNA code compared to the 3.2 billion found in humans, this virus is incredibly simple and isn't even considered living by some experts, since it can't reproduce on its own. Yes, because it's a virus, and also you're comparing it to a human. It would be useful if you compared it to another virus. How does it compare to the flu? Or something like that, or COVID-19. However, this is an extremely exciting moment for researchers attempting to tackle the growing threat of antibiotic resistance. Dr. Samuel King and Dr. Brian High, co-creators of the new virus, wrote in a blog post, "Bacterial resistance to antibiotics represents one of the most pressing challenges in modern medicine, with resistant infections killing hundreds of thousands or more annually. We want to see if we could one day design phage therapies that could be resilient against bacterial evolution. In the future, the researchers hope that these technologies could be used to create antibacterial treatments or speed up the design and production of vaccines." Dr. Wolfson says, "This has immediate utility in the production of so-called personal cancer vaccines. These typically take up to 12 weeks to manufacture, but with the Sidewinder technology that we have developed, we anticipate being able to do this in 2 or 3 days." That sounds like you could almost mass produce custom vaccines, which would be very good. We'll have to see. I think there was a lot of skepticism for some of the technologies that were rolled out during the pandemic, but I personally think some of that skepticism, we should perhaps be a bit more open-minded for the future, but we shall see. However, experts have previously suggested that the use of AI has the potential to speed up the production of bioweapons as well as medicines. Exactly, yeah. It means that we have to be even more worried about what nasty things could be created by hostile states. In a paper published last year, researchers used AI to design proteins that could mimic deadly poisons and toxins, such as ricin, botulinum, and shiga. I don't know, what is shiga? They found that a large number of these weaponized DNA codes could slip past the safety filters used by companies that print custom DNA sequences on demand. The researchers did this to demonstrate how current biosafety tools might not be ready for the widespread availability of AI-designed life. Likewise, experts on existential risk have warned that designing bioweapons is one of the most dangerous potential applications of AI. Yes, but it is coming, unfortunately, and I don't know how you can stop it. The Existential Risk Observatory, which monitors threats to human survival, considers an AI-designed plague to be one of the 5 biggest risks the world faces. Honestly, I would say that is the biggest. What are the other things? People go on and on about nuclear weapons, but I'm a bit jaded about nuclear weapons. I don't really think they're such a threat as they used to be, because they're quite limited in their potential destruction, whereas these AI-generated viruses could be extinction-level dangers. So I'm much more worried about this than nukes. To avoid these new tools being used for dangerous means, the researchers behind Evo 2 specifically removed examples from the training data that could teach the AI how to make human pathogens. Dr. King and Dr. High wrote, "Evo cannot generate human viral sequences due to deliberate training data exclusions, preventing both accidental and intentional misuse of pathogen design." Right. Well, I'm only slightly reassured by that. I'm pretty sure somebody will be doing it. How do you make a new virus in the lab? Number 1, scientists train an AI on trillions of pieces of genetic information. Number 2, the AI called Evo 2 creates a sequence of DNA base pairs that gives the genetic code for a new virus. Number 3, the scientists use a technology called Sidewinders to create small building blocks of DNA. Number 4, Sidewinder attaches page number labels to the building blocks so they can be put in the right order. The pieces are assembled into DNA and the page numbers are removed. The DNA is inserted into a bacterium which is then hijacked to start producing the new virus. Crazy. What's Elon saying here? Elon Musk's hatred of AI explained. Does he hate it? I don't think he hates AI. He is the CEO of XAI, which creates Grok. So why would he be creating something he hates? Billionaire believes it will spell the end of humans, a fear Stephen Hawking shared. But why is he then working on an AI? This doesn't make sense. This sounds like a load of fluff here. Should we read the fluff? There's a lot of fluff. My goodness. Let's have a look. Elon Musk wants to push technology to its absolute limit, from space travel to self-driving cars, but he draws the line at artificial intelligence. The billionaire first shared his distaste for AI in 2014. That's 12 years ago now, calling it humanity's biggest existential threat. It is, yeah, I agree, and comparing it to summoning the demon. Potentially, yeah. At the time, Musk also revealed he was investing in AI companies not to make money, but to keep an eye on the technology in case it gets out of hand. His main fear is that in the wrong hands, if AI becomes advanced, it could overtake humans and spell the end of mankind, which is known as a singularity. That concern is shared among many brilliant minds. He recently actually said we're at the beginning of the singularity, which I would say is almost the same thing as saying we've crossed the event horizon, and I define the event horizon of the singularity as the point at which an insurmountable number of uncritical people are able to be deceived by AI, such that whatever AI is trying to achieve, whatever goals it has that aren't our own, are unstoppable, which would be equivalent to the gravity that you experience beyond the event horizon of a black hole, meaning you could never possibly escape the black hole. Then I think he hinted at the fact that perhaps we're already over that barrier. He knows far more than I do about the current state of AI, but I imagine we're pretty sophisticated behind the scenes. This is very interesting. And there you go. They've made leaps and bounds on being able to create AI-generated viruses. So I don't know how easy it is for them to design the parameters of these things, but they were mentioning that they could generate these viruses within 2 to 3 days. So if we're being optimistic, then these technologies could be used for custom treatments for cancers and other ailments, other gene therapies and such. This is either very frightening or very exciting, depending on who you are and which direction we collectively take this technology. But that is it for now. Make sure you hit the like button if you like me. Subscribe if you like me long time. But for now, the only thing I have left to say is Pigwig out.
Oink, oinkity, snort, snuffle, snuffle, squee, oink, oink, wee, squeal, snort, snort, oinkity, squee. Oink, 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 squee, squee, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Snort, snuffle, oink, squee, squeal, wee, snort, oinky, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, wee, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squee, squee, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Oink, oinkity, snort, snuffle, snuffle, squee, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, wee, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squee, squee, wee, 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 snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 wee, 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 oh. Squeal, squeal. Snort, shuffle, oink, re-squeal, re-snort, oinky, oinkity, oink, 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 snuffle, re-squeeze, snort, oink, squeal, oink, oink, oinkity, squeeze, squee, re-re-re, snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, oink, oink.